And here's the starting lineups for the Panthers and the Longhorns. Jesperson, Bohannon, Washburn, Morgan. Joining Bennett Cook along with Lammert, eBay, Isaiah Taylor, DeMarcus Holland, and Javon Felix for Shaka Smart's Texas Longhorns. First season after 6 as head coach at VCU, including that 2011 Final Four run. But the question is about Cam Ridley, the big man for Texas. And for more, here's Jamie Maggio.
Carter, thank you. Cameron Ridley, as you know, coming off of foot surgery. He missed 20 games at the end of the season, played just 2 minutes in the Big 12 tournament in that game against Baylor. Since the Big 12 tournament, the Longhorns have bringing him along slowly, 1 day on, 1 day off, slowly increasing his activities and monitoring his reaction. It's all been positive. And the coaching staff told me before the game there will be no minutes restriction on Ridley tonight.
And that is big news for the Texas Longhorns.
And bad news for UNI. It gives them more size that they're going to have to deal with. And look for Northern Iowa to really try to help out. They want to keep the ball out of the paint, but if they on post-ups, they are going to come and double. They're going to have to.
So how does Northern Iowa, as an 11 seed, take out the 6 seed Texas?
They got to take care of the basketball, negate their size to a degree, and shoot the 3 extremely well.
Offensive foul on Prince eBay to get it started.
Well, and they've played VCU, so they know what to expect from as far as Texas pressing. So they got a handle on Shaka Smart's style. But again, it's replicating that in practice and trying to prepare for it. But they've got to handle the pressure.
Northern Iowa this year wins over Iowa State, North Carolina, 2 over Wichita State, and Stephen F. Austin. That was their first win of the year. Lumberjacks pulling off the upset today. One of the best programs in the country. Northern Iowa had a big win. It has been a solid run for Northern Iowa. They dipped a little bit and finished strong. 2-0 start for Texas.
Well, what happened, and they've got some younger guys, but then the seniors really stepped up when they were 2-6 in conference and kind of took ownership of things, and that's when everything turned around for UNI.
Good sign for Texas as Javon Felix hits his first look. Bohannon. This is the long 2, and there's Taylor hustling for the rebound, pushing Texas.
Well, then Northern Iowa is last in the NCAA in offensive rebounds, so they probably won't even send 1 guy to the glass. They'll just try to get 5 back and negate the transition points.
Second chance for Texas. eBay lost it. Holland helps him out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be, especially if Texas is efficient offensively, it's going to allow them to pressure up. Although actually this team is averaging fewer steals than any of Shaka Smart's teams at VCU. So he hadn't cranked up the heat all the way.
5 steals a game. 7 to shoot. Back to Washburn. Senior from Cedar Rapids. Pulls up. Missed the 3. Play on. Felix the rebound. Taylor for 3. Drills it. Hot start for Texas.
And Taylor, he's not noted for his range, only 28% on the year, but great start for him.
Had all of 16 threes on the season. Longhorns have come ready to play. Ten to shoot. Back cut. Jesperson fouled by DeMarcus Holland. His first. 7-0 Texas, who delivered the Buick expectation-shattering performance of the day. Tune in to Inside March Madness, presented by Buick, and find out. Jesperson, the former Virginia Cavalier, to the line. Northern Iowa recruited him out of high school. He's from Wisconsin, but went to Virginia. Decided to come back and play in the Missouri Valley for the Panthers.
ACC having a good start to the tournament so much. Pac-12, not so much.
Here comes Cam Ridley. So again, the fractured left foot in December. He played only 2 minutes versus Baylor in the Big 12 tournament, but cleared Monday before the Big 12 tournament.
And I think the thought process here, they didn't want him sitting on the bench too long. They wanted to, after he gets warmed up and get that injury, and to get him into the game and probably play in short spurts. Although Jamie reported before the game, no minute limitations. It's just going to be a matter of his conditioning.
Lambert into Ridley and one. Welcome back, Cam Ridley.
It's almost like he got a huge smile on his face, and it's almost like there's a big exhale. You always wonder how you're going to react, and they certainly don't have anybody his size to overcome that. He just kind of heard that beep, beep, beep as he was backing up into the rim, and nice easy layoff to start off things.
Few have the size to deal with Cam Ridley. 6'10", 290 out of Houston, George H.W. Bush High School. It's the first basket for Cam Ridley since December 19 versus Stanford.
Well, you had that injury and you put in all the time and rehabbing, and here you are in the NCAA tournament. You get right in and score a basket.
Texas continues its aggressive start. Roach will reset him. Freshman from Houston North Shore High School.
Freak of an athlete, won a triple jump in high school. Track coach at Texas went to Shaka Sports. Let me just borrow him on the weekends.
That's a big deal with Texas Relays in Austin on UT's campus. Washburn draws a foul on Ridley. Count the basket.
And the Panthers had everybody lifted out front. You got a nice little brush screen, and they're going to try to get Ridley out in space, make him move, see how that injury, how that foot reacts, and then they just had the whole backside. There was no place that help could come from.
Washburn, the shoeless Wes Washburn, the hero of Arch Madness with a buzzer beater. He had 21 points, 8 assists in the win over North Carolina, 28 and 11 against Iowa State. You talk about a senior stepping up in the big moments.
Well, who likes the big moment, and he actually gets his shoe stepped on that time and still finishes the play.
All geared up, ready to go.
And that was a quick shift for Ridley. Probably would be that way for the duration of the game.
Washburn can't finish off the three-point play. Mack misses the three. Lowhouse has the rebound. Washburn trying to run the Panthers. Attacking. The kick out to the corner. Blocked.
But Roach got a piece of that one. UNI starting out 1 of 6 in the game.
Davis turns the corner and lays it in. 11-4 Texas.
And there's a lane open sign above the basket. There's no real rim protector out there for Northern Iowa.
11 seed Panthers from Cedar Falls. Ten to shoot. Morgan kick back off the shot fake. Carlson rattles it home.
Well, he too not a high percentage shooter from 3, but they needed that lift badly.
He had a career high 17 points in the Missouri Valley Championship game win over Evansville.
Yeah, he came on it. He was all tournament. Really had a great run.
To the corner for Davis.
Ben Jacobson said they will run selectively. They'll run on turnovers. They'll push, but when they don't have it, try to run the clock.
Carlson tough floater. 5 straight for the big man from Waverly, Iowa. Continues his hot march.
For everybody, they're going to be driving lanes out there because UNI has everybody playing out on the perimeter. There's no post presence at all.
8 to shoot for Texas. Davis, air ball. Panthers a chance to tie or take the lead. Washburn strip, but a foul called on the floor. So Texas, strong start. But Wes Washburn and the Northern Iowa Panthers, they're used to March success. This is March Madness, the Missouri Valley Conference in St. Louis. They call it Arch Madness. Wes Washburn and Northern Iowa, after beating Wichita State in the semifinals in OT, that one with the shooter's roll, the buzzer beater to put Northern Iowa back in the NCAA tournament with a win over Evansville.
Well, it was great in slow motion, the reaction of the bench when that ball bounced straight up in the air. Everybody's waiting there, and it seemed like an eternity, and then finally fell through, and everybody exploded off the bench.
Bohannon floater. Follow won't go. Missing a chance to tie it.
As you would expect, and this is what Texas is going to do. They're leading 9-2, all 9 of their 11 points in the paint.
Back to the paint, drawing a foul on Carlson. So Northern Iowa, Cedar Falls, Iowa, and yes, the famous alum, Kurt Warner, Super Bowl winning quarterback, MVP, and he is very active with Northern Iowa. Kurt's in the house, and he is regularly around this basketball program.
He was at practice yesterday and rebounding for the kids after everybody was through shooting.
And eBay tough in the paint on this trip.
Well, with Ridley and eBay and Claire, they have got some massive bodies up front that they can run in waves.
Washburn to a trailing Bohannon. Jesperson the offensive board. Kick out. A foul, and that will send Wyatt Lohaus to the line with a chance to tie it.
Chance to be a teammate with his dad, the Milwaukee Bucks, briefly. He used to go ice fishing after practice. Asked me to go a couple times. I politely declined.
You never took Brad Lohaus up on the opportunity to go ice fishing?
No, I didn't want to be next to the grumpy old man out there.
So Feel rim was nowhere in sight.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Brad Lohaus, 11 years in the NBA, 87 to 98. And now Wyatt in his sophomore year.
Brad was a lot taller, but he did pass on the three-point shooting gene. Brad used to sit out behind the line and knock shots down. Wyatt the same thing, 35%, 80% from the line.
And he gets a Washburn-like roll on the free throw to tie it at 11. It's a 7-0 run for Northern Iowa to even it. Leaks pulls it back out. Taylor with 9 to shoot. Into the corner. Yancey passes on it. The kick out. Lammert misses. Long rebound. There's Wyatt Lohaus.
That's what UNI is going to have to do. They're going to have to rebound as a group against this much larger front line for Texas.
Down to Bennett Cook on the baseline.
I don't think they're going to be able to win a two-point game against this team. They're going to have to start knocking down threes, and they've been cold to start.
Texas gone over 3 minutes without a bucket. Claire can't end the drought. Lammert gets the steal. Javon Felix lost the handle, out of bounds to Northern Iowa, so the Panthers will have a chance to take the lead on the Shaka Smarts Longhorns. And Stephen F. Austin advancing in Brooklyn. You have many contacts among the Lumberjacks. 14 seed taken out of West Virginia.
Incredible. It's just this tournament has been... I'm glad I'm not a betting man, let's put it that way.
But you're not that surprised that, surely the 15 over the 2 Michigan State was a big surprise.
Yeah. That may have been one of the big surprises of all time.
Texas had an early 7-point lead. Northern Iowa a chance to take its first lead, but an offensive foul on the push-off by Wes Washburn. So a tournament summary with the first time in NCAA tournament history. 13, a 14, and a 15 all advance on the same day.
Look at all the double-digit seeds. But it's funny, you look at the number and then you look at the name after the number and they just don't historically seem to match up.
Wichita State and Gonzaga.
Yep.
And again, Northern Iowa has a win over Stephen F. Austin. Second game of the year. That was their first win of the season. Washburn to a trailing Jesperson. Panthers on top.
Yeah, that's the way they have to play to win this game. They had only hit 1-3 in the first 11 minutes. Let's see if they start to get on a little bit of a roll.
10-0 run for Northern Iowa. Kendall Yancey ends it.
And he is not, his time has dwindled over the course of the year, so good minutes for him early on, and he takes advantage of it.
Winner of this game faces Texas A&M.
I'm really, if that were come to pass, that's going to be a heck of a game. I just want to see the atmosphere.
Northern Iowa is going to say something about it as Jesperson hits another three, and we have a foul as well. The foul is on Claire down low, and
there's the elbow. And that was an elbow above. They're going to look at it. They may turn that into a flagrant one. That was an elbow into the up above the shoulders. He comes right in for the block out and then kind of leads with the elbow across the chops.
So already called a common foul on Shaquille Clare. And now Chris Rastatter, Bo Borowski, Marcus Pettigrew will take a closer look to see if you have something that rises to the level of a flagrant one. Personal foul that is deemed excessive in nature and or unnecessary, not based solely on the severity of the act. That's flagrant one. And just in general, technical fouls are generally during dead ball situations. Flagrants are during live ball situations.
Right, but anytime you get above the shoulders, that's when you can see he had his elbows awfully high in that situation. I don't know if it rises to flagrant 2.
The difference between flagrant 1 and flagrant 2, the wording of flagrant 2, severe or extreme.
So they're taking their time with this one. Those are the definitions of both flagrants. Now the three of them are going to talk.
Kip Kissinger, the alternate official, is over there at the table to weigh in as well. And let's see if we get an explanation here. Borowski's going to come over and tell him that. It will be a flagrant 1 personal foul.
All right, so the ruling is that the basket counts, and they have deemed it a flagrant 1 foul. So UNI will get 2 shots and possession of the ball. So it could be a touchdown scoring drive for UNI at this point.
Something Kurt Warner would appreciate. So 2 shots here for Bennett Cook. That's the first, and what a turnaround for Northern Iowa after Texas jumped out to an early 7-point lead. Cook gets them both 18-13 now. Panthers on the Longhorns. And flagrant 1 on Shaquille Clare. It's a 14-2 run by Northern Iowa. Jesperson. Carlson over to the wing, and Jeremy Morgan nails the three. A 17-3 run.
Carter really off the ball, screening by UNI to get shooters open.
The Leaks can't answer.
And he's a guy who needs to get off quickly. He's been described as has a YMCA type of game, an old man's game, but he does need to have some success.
Carlson passes on the three to find Morgan for two. That's 5 straight for Morgan. Northern Iowa opens up a 10-point lead on Texas in Oklahoma City. It was the Longhorns starting hot, but the Panthers ready to roll in OKC. This game was 11-4 Texas, a 19-2 run by Northern Iowa.
That's officially categorized as a run right there, and it's they've been terrific. They've really moved the ball well. They shared, they screen well. And finally, the three-point shooting, they started off 1 of 5, and that's finally come alive for them. Now it's making the Texas defenders chase them outside, and it's opened up driving lanes.
Cam Ridley back in the game. He draws the double down low. The big man played only 2 minutes since December. Turns it over here.
And it's a skill that a lot of big men, it's tough to learn how to play and pass out of a double team. And there's got to be a lot of rust on Cam Ridley's game right now.
4 made threes for Northern Iowa, helping fuel the run. Carlson off the glass.
Well, there's no way that Ridley can guard him out there, and this may be a situation where Shaka Smart may have to flinch and go small to play against this team, because their bigs are not getting them much.
Holland to Felix. Ridley fighting for the rebound. Morgan rips it. A 21-2 run for Northern Iowa. Morgan attacks. Through the contact from Ridley, play on, and Morgan gets a tough rebound on one end, a tough bucket on the other.
They're getting to the rim anytime they want to.
13 straight, 23-2 the run.
This Texas crowd is stunned at what's going on here.
Lammert 3 rims out. Big rebound. Holland can't finish. Finally, a bucket goes down to end the Northern Iowa dominant run here in the first half.
Only the fourth second chance opportunity, or second chance point for Texas in the game, an area that you thought they were going to dominate early on.
Morgan kicks out. Carlson fouled on the floor. It's on Ridley. That's his second. Northern Iowa rolling down 7 early. The Panthers taking it to Texas. 27-15 Northern Iowa on Texas. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com.
Well, and Shaka Smart has reacted. Lammert is the biggest player out on the floor now for Texas, and he's more of a stretch 4 than anything. So he's got to, he had to make that move so he could defend his team. They were really exploiting the bigs that were out on the floor off the dribble and were taking threes.
Shaka Smart down to confer with Darren Horn, former head coach of Western Kentucky and South Carolina. Trying to find a solution at this point. Before you find your way, you have to change directions. The Detour, a new comedy series, premieres April 11, 9/8 Central, with back-to-back episodes on TBS.
Well, and Shaka Smart does a little differently. The assistant coaches have different groups that they're assigned to, and they're not all sitting together on the bench. They're sitting with the groups of players that they work with.
Taylor draws a foul.
You can see that Darren Horn has got his group that he's talking to, and it's a system that I've never seen before, but really makes a lot of sense. It's like the position coaches in football being with their groups.
So as poorly as Texas played during that stretch when Northern Iowa went on a 23-2 run,
it's a 13, and that's what I think in that last time out, Shaka Smart really had to hit home with his team. So guys, we got 27 minutes of basketball left to play. And, you know, as well as UNI has been playing, there's a lot of time left in this game.
Taylor, 5 points for Texas. Junior point guard from Southern California. Foul on Lammert, getting tangled up with Bennett Cook. First on Connor Lammert.
So UNI was already shooting in the penalty. Conversely, they'll only have 4 team fouls, so it's going to be a while before Texas gets to the line, other than a shooting foul.
Bennett Cook, the sophomore, who scored less than 2 points per game as a freshman, averaging 8 a game as a sophomore. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today.
And the other thing, Carter, a lot of that run was without Washington on the floor.
There's Washington out there now for Northern Iowa. That's a foul before the shot, so it's on the floor on Lohaus.
So now you're your best player is on the bench, and you go on a run like that. Pretty good sign.
Off the inbound, Roach, tap out from Holland, ends up in the hands of Bohannon for the Panthers. Northern Iowa trying to duplicate March success. They won a game last year in the tournament, and in 2010 it was all the way to the Sweet 16 with the win over #1 seed Kansas.
Boy, they are just shredding Texas's defense right now, getting to the rim anytime they want to. And you knew that Washington wanted to come back in and get into the scoring column in rhythm in a hurry.
A 16-point edge for the Longhorns. That's a travel back to Northern Iowa. A chance to extend the Panther lead.
Turnover number 5 by UT, and this was gorgeous. He is so explosive getting to the rim.
Nobody stops him. Lohaus pushes up against Taylor.
Taylor has been really quiet, averages 15 a game, only 5 to this point. Offensive foul on Cook.
The Texas team finished 4th in the powerful Big 12, one of 7 teams from the Big 12 in the NCAA tournament. Now 17 of the last 18 years Texas has made the tournament.
Ben Jacobson right there, and got to be extremely pleased with the fight and determination that this team has come out with. Maybe, they may be one of the better programs that people don't know a lot about of.
7 NCAAs in the last 13 years for Northern Iowa. Eric Davis gets the 3 for Texas. Just the second 3 of the game for the Longhorns.
Well, and the thing is, because really Texas has not been able to press it all much in this game because they haven't been making shots or going to the free throw line.
Lohaus draws another foul. 1-and-1 coming.
Last one and 1-and-1. Next one puts them in the double bonus.
Fouls on Roach, his second. And Shaka with the coaching moment for the freshman from Houston. Wyatt Lohaus, 1-and-1. Misses the front end. Holland attacks, kick back, Taylor. Second made three of the game for Isaiah Taylor.
And all of a sudden, it's a 10-point game, and for UNI, you want to finish this half out strongly. You've really done a nice job and controlled the whole game to this point. You don't want to let Texas go on a run.
Texas led by 7 early, then Northern Iowa building a 16-point lead. Wes Washburn attacks Lammert. Off the window, Wes Washburn takes it right at the 6'10" Lammert.
Well, right from the start of this game, the Panthers, they've been fearless. Whether the bigs are in there or not, they have been attacking the rim.
Lammert. Tap out from Holland.
Foul inside. UNI shooting. Here's the look. I mean, he goes right, and that's what you have to do to negate the shot blocking. He went right at Lammert's body.
Foul was on Holland, his second. Northern Iowa has made its last 8 field goal attempts. Morgan gets the first. The NCAA tournament and Coke. Team up for great taste. Texas cuts it to 10. Northern Iowa responds.
They were really trying to keep Taylor pinned in on that right side. Washington was up, forcing him to the sideline.
Felix attacks into the paint. 5 to shoot. Javon Felix, the senior from New Orleans.
It's kind of that old man game, you know, like just knows how to get in. Doesn't have a lot of lift, but can get that little floater off in the lane.
4 in the game for Felix. Hasn't hit a 3 yet. 0 for 2. The largest comeback victory of the year for Texas is from 10 down. They trailed by 16 in the first half in this game. Work to do with Northern Iowa up 12 in Oklahoma City. All right, we saw them win on Wednesday night in Dayton, the Michigan Wolverine. Now they're taking it to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame really didn't finish strongly. I mean, they got manhandled by North Carolina in the ACC tournament. A very dangerous offensive team, but really struggled defensively this year.
That's an 11-6 game between Michigan and Notre Dame, with the 11th seed on top. The 11th seed here, Northern Iowa, in the West region, has taken the fight to Texas after the Longhorns led by 7 early. It was a 23-2 run by the Panthers here in the first half. Taylor finds Felix. Hasn't made a 3 yet, Javon Felix.
On the year, they only shot 33. They can't get into a three-point shooting contest with Northern Iowa. 33% as a team.
Washburn turns the corner, lays it in. Wes Washburn attacking.
I was going to say, he's been able to go either way. He's left-handed, but went right that time. He finished left.
Deep 3. Taylor knocks it down. Isaiah Taylor, an unlikely three-point shooting barrage.
He is definitely more of a slasher, 28%. Very explosive to the basket. Loves to attack the rim.
16 threes all year, 28%. 3 for 3 in the first half from long range. Trying to keep Texas within striking distance. Jesperson lost the handle. Texas ball. Just the 4th turnover by Northern Iowa. They average only 10 a game. That is 8th fewest in the nation for Ben Jacobson's team.
Big 220 for Texas right here.
Blocking foul called. Bohannon trying to draw the charge. Gets the foul. Coming up on AT&T at the half. Scores and highlights and the latest NCAA tournament news. Coming up, AT&T at the half.
Well, Isaiah Taylor was quiet, but he's really lifted this team up. He's the only Longhorn in double figures. And those three-point shots really unlikely for him, but they come in a critical time.
Isaiah Taylor talking to us yesterday about the respect and relationship building, and Shaka Smart got the job, the national championship game last year, Duke, Wisconsin. Brought pizza over to Isaiah's apartment where the guys were gathered to watch the game. And it was Coach Smart delivering pizzas to the players, sitting down watching. He said, we didn't talk about practice. We didn't talk about what we needed to do. We just sat there and watched the basketball game and helped show what Coach Smart's commitment to his players is going to be.
And I think that approach, when we talk about Rick Barnes, and I think Shaka Smart had to probably re-recruit Isaiah Taylor, and it was the way that he dealt with him and with all of his players that sold Taylor on coming back for another year.
Kick out and three goes for Jeremy Morgan. The lead back to 13 for the Panthers. 5 for 9 from three-point in the first half. Taylor attacks, trying to keep Texas in it. The junior.
And let's see what Ben Jacobson does. That was Washington's second foul. Do you leave him in and risk him picking up a third here? I don't know if you can do that.
We talk about the Texas NCAA success. There were 16 bids in 17 years under Rick Barnes, leading that Final Four in 03. Your team, your highlights, your scores, all in one place. Download Team Stream, the free app from Bleacher Report now.
A great moment between Ben Jacobson and Washington, who did come out of the game, but he went over and they shook hands and he kind of rubbed his head. He said, I know you wanted to stay out there, but we need you for another 20.
After the Sweet 16, Ben Jacobson signed a 10-year contract in Northern Iowa.
Yeah, that's a nice little extension. I think he's in there for the long haul. I mean, that's a lifestyle coaching position, and he and his family very happy there. And he's been, I'm sure, he's had his share of offers.
They were confident as the 11 seed. Won the Missouri Valley as the 4 seed. Lowhouse decides to pass it at the last second to Cook, who lost it out of bounds. Cook takes a tumble.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It looked like he kind of went down and right at the end of the play got raped across the face. UNI fans reacting to that. They wanted a foul on the play. I don't know if the ball was already out of bounds when that happened.
Taylor backing in, gets fouled. Morgan fouls Taylor. Ben Jacobson did not think so. Second on Morgan.
No other player for Texas has more than 5 points in this game. Taylor with the chance to get to 16, almost half of their offense.
Taylor grew up in Southern California, but came to Houston to go to high school at the Village School with Shaq Clare.
He was the one who really recruited him. Their relationship, Clare was not happy up at Maryland, and Taylor was the one who actually recruited him to come down to Texas.
John Lucas worked a lot with both of those guys in Houston. John Lucas' son Jay on the Texas staff. Taylor averages 15 a game, 16 first half points to try and lead Texas back after they trail by as many as 16. Taylor nearly got the steal from Lowhouse. 10 to shoot. Wyatt Lowhouse can't finish. The stick back. Cook couldn't get it, but he's fouled.
Looked like Bob Cousy instead of Wyatt Lowhouse out there. And you can do that now as long as you have a live dribble. There's no more 5-second count, so he was able to dribble off a lot of seconds and did everything but finish right there. And then Cook upset with himself for missing an easy three-point play opportunity.
Before those back-to-back misses, Northern Iowa had made 10 straight field goal attempts.
And all that being said, as great as they've been in the first 20 minutes, Texas only down by 10.
Northern Iowa, yeah, 59%, 56% from 3 points. A scoring explosion by Northern Iowa. Their high and a half this season was 54 against North Dakota. And this is the NCAA tournament.
After number one, Texas would be way out of this game. Taylor single-handedly keeping them in this ball game.
16 first half points. Felix, 9 to shoot.
And it's UNI is going to challenge them to shoot it from the perimeter. They're in a zone.
Felix, first made three of the game for Javon Felix. And despite the red-hot shooting first half for Northern Iowa, Texas down 8. So they cut the 16-point lead in half. It's 44-36 at the break.
And actually cut into that lead when they went small and were able to match up.
And Jamie Maggio was with Ben Jacobson.
Carter, thanks so much. You know, Coach, yesterday we talked about the difference in size between these two teams. Your team is playing fearless, getting to the line twice as many times. How did you prepare them for that?
Well, we've been up against that all year, and we finally got better at it about 6 weeks ago, and we've just found a way to battle that off because we finally figured out it wasn't going to change for us.
Taylor has got a lot of points for them. He's getting the job done. How can you do a better job defensively on him?
Well, he's hit a couple of longer jump shots, and when he does that, he's awfully hard to keep out of the lane. West is going to have to. We had to battle off some foul trouble toward the end of the half, and West is just going to have to move out and guard him a little bit.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Northern Iowa uses a 23-2 run early. They lead it by 8 at the break. And moments ago, Jamie Maggio spoke with Texas head coach Shaka Smart.
Thank you, Carter. Coach, UNI shooting 60%. What adjustments do you need to make to be more disruptive to their offense?
Well, the first thing is we got to be way more aggressive. I thought for the majority of the half, Northern Iowa was a more aggressive team. They got to the foul line, they made 5 threes, and then way too many times they got to the basket on us.
Isaiah Taylor has been the lone bright spot on your offense. What can you do to get everybody else involved?
Well, we've had some other guys that have had some good looks that haven't go down. I thought what happened at the end of the half is we got a little bit more aggressive. We were able to score the ball better, to cut the lead down. That's what we're going to have to do in the second half.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
If Texas comes back to win this game, it'd be their biggest comeback of the year. They trailed by 16 in the first half. Northern Iowa used a 23-2 run in that first half to take command.
And interesting that they start the half with Prince eBay out on the floor, staying with that big lineup.
Jesperson missing the first look from 3 for Northern Iowa. Felix had the 3 to close out the first half. And now Felix attacking and drawing a foul, and that's a big one. Third on Washburn.
That was going to be a key, and now Ben Jacobson, a little bit of a decision to make here. Do you roll the dice and keep him in there? If I'm Texas, I keep attacking him.
For the moment, Washburn stays on the floor. I mean, Ben Jacobson,
he's guarding Taylor.
Jacobson did not flinch. 3 seconds. Look on Shaka Smart's face.
Well, and eBay has to. You got to make a little space. You see, Taylor's got the ball. You got to give him some room to drive, and that's when they didn't have the big in there, the lane opened up for the guys out on the perimeter. But eBay in the lane clogs things up, and he's not a great offensive player.
Northern Iowa making its 7th NCAA tournament appearance in 13 years, highlighted by the Sweet 16 in 2010. Cook in the paint. 3 seconds. How many times do you see back-to-back?
I can't. I was going to say it's been years since I've seen back-to-back 3-second calls.
Were you involved with one of them?
I was involved with a few of them over the.
Taylor back to Lammert. Isaiah Taylor's going to reset it. Junior first-team All-Big 12 performer. Kick out Felix. Second made three of the game for Javon Felix.
Well, and he's one of those guys that if he hits his first shot, he is off and going. He's one of those guys, if he's having a slow shooting night, it's tough for him to recover.
One at the end of the first half, and now this one for Felix. Holland commits the foul. So from 16 down in the first half, Texas has cut it to 5. Northern Iowa hasn't scored yet in the half. Washburn gives it up. Jesperson looking for help. Bohannon, 5 to shoot. Bohannon down to Cook. Lost it out of bounds with only 1 second on the shot clock.
It's been a much more energized Texas team on the defensive end of the floor in the first 2 minutes of this half.
Shaka Smart seeking his first NCAA tournament win as head coach of the Texas Longhorns after 6 remarkable years at VCU. The Rams are here in Oklahoma City as well. Been a reunion in downtown Oklahoma City. Taylor finds Felix again. eBay 10 to shoot. A cutting Holland. Top from Lammert.
And that's an area where they needed to improve. They really didn't exploit the offensive glass in the first half.
Down to a 3-point lead for Northern Iowa. 8 straight for Texas.
Felix on the hold.
Second on Felix.
And interesting, they've taken Washburn off of Taylor down the other end and put him on Holland, who is not the scorer, so maybe that won't put as much pressure on him defensively.
Bohannon, first points of the second half for Northern Iowa. Come, of course, from the 3-point line.
41% from 3, 83% from the free throw line. Terrific shooter.
Taylor attacks and one. Fouls on Morgan.
Boy, what a terrific take by Taylor, and he's going to his offhand. Splits the defense and a terrific finish.
Isaiah Taylor, who started every game for 3 years. First team All-Big 12 this year. First in 4 years for the Longhorns since Jacobin Brown. First team All-Big 12.
That was a terrific finish with his left hand, and then the offensive rebound off the missed free throw. Shaka must have had a heck of a speech at halftime. Different Texas team out there.
They had a 7-point lead early before Northern Iowa went on the huge run. Holland drills it. 1-point game.
We got some improbable people making shots in this game. He's 27% on the year. I mean, you want him to try to take that shot.
Morgan, that's a blocking foul on Taylor, trying to draw the charge.
Only his first foul, so he is not in any kind of trouble at all. He tried to sell it a little bit too much, I think.
Texas 4 for 5 shooting in the second half. So it was the Panthers red hot in the first half. Texas coming out strong in the second.
Now Washburn has to be a little careful on this end. He's been super aggressive going to the rim. You really have to watch for a charge call in that situation, picking up the 4th.
Got his 3rd foul just 17 seconds into the second half. Jesperson. Bohannon nearly turned it over. 3 second half points for Northern Iowa. 8 to shoot. Washburn guarded by Lammert.
Yeah, they got the switch in the big.
So Washburn takes it off. Bounce rejected by eBay. Taylor brings the horns back. Big board for Carlson.
That's one of the few times that having a big in the game has paid off for Texas with the rim protector.
eBay, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Nine to shoot for the Panthers. Washburn step back.
And because eBay stepped out and really made him change his shot a little bit, they are forcing Washburn right.
Air ball from Felix.
It's important. When you shoot an air ball, wipe your hands off on your pants.
1 point game. Texas fights. So the 6th seed rallying there in Brooklyn and the 6th seed rallying here in Oklahoma City. Texas has outscored Northern Iowa 10-3 to begin the second half.
Let's see Clint Carlson be a little bit more aggressive. He was very efficient for them in the first half. And I think he can take eBay off the dribble.
7 to shoot. Washburn trying to take eBay off the dribble, and he turned it over. Let's check in with Jamie.
Well, Ben Jacobson's message to the team right there is just, let's keep pushing along. They knew that Texas would make a run coming into the second half. He said, we just need to withstand this. They want Washburn to get in the lane a little bit more. A little bit concerned about his foul trouble. They're going to take him off Taylor for a little bit, but they just want these guys to get back to their game.
And sure enough, with Lowhouse guarding Taylor, it's Lowhouse who commits the foul. It's on the floor. It was fun when we talked to Ben Jacobson yesterday. He said the guys know they're a part of something huge here in the NCAA tournament. The excitement never fades.
No, and then, as I said, they've been here plenty of times under him before. But for this group in this game, to get Washburn in a pick and roll situation with Carlson, to get eBay away from the basket, I think is the best way to get him into the lane.
Another foul on Lowhouse. So they switch Washburn off, and then it's Lowhouse committing the fouls, trying to stay in front of Taylor. 14 fouls against the Panthers. And through Taylor again. Over to Davis. From 16 down in the first half, Texas has the lead.
And that's a huge psychological thing. Shaka getting down in stance. You battle and you battle and you battle, and sometimes if you can't get over it, it gets frustrating. But to finally get the lead, this is a big answer.
Bohannon can't hit it. Fight for the rebound. Out of bounds. Off the Panthers, Texas ball. The Longhorns have outscored Northern Iowa 13-3 here in the second half.
And this is with, I wasn't quite sure if they were going to come out small again, but eBay's been on the floor for 6.5 minutes in this comeback.
Taylor, lob! Texas dominant in the second half.
Still trying to attack Washburn. They pick up that fourth foul. They get Roach on the lob.
15-3 to begin the second half for Shaka Smart's Longhorns. The Aggies await the winner. Texas fighting back. In the second half, Texas has outscored Northern Iowa 15-3.
Well, it's been some players off the bench that have given them a big lift. Eric Davis, number 10, with that three, and then the lob to Roach, and that forced the timeout. important series or two now for UNI to answer.
On December 1st, they came from 10 down to beat UT Arlington, a good team. They trailed by 16 in the first half against Northern Iowa. And now it's Texas on top, 10 straight. Who's going to make the most shots? Who has more points in the second half? If your bracket's already busted, play the Capital One NCAA Tournament Run game on NCAA.com and in the March Madness Live app. Morgan misses. eBay tracks it down, and we have a foul in there.
Jesperson.
First on Jesperson.
15 foul for UNI, 4 for Texas.
Northern Iowa scored 13 points from the line in the first half. Back into the hands of Taylor.
Taylor's been quiet, only 2 points so far in this second half.
5 to shoot here. Taylor leans in for 2. Air ball, the stick back goes from Kerwin Roach.
In Texas, that did an assist. It's a little shy. That was like a fair catch.
12-0 for Texas. And Taylor fouls Washburn. That's the second on Isaiah Taylor. All right, we talked about how Texas needed to get the offense rolling in the first half. Now Northern Iowa stuck on 3 second-half points. What do the Panthers have to do to find the rhythm again?
It seems, and I know he has to be careful, but Washburn has been a little tentative since he's come back in. He was really aggressive attacking. Again, I think Carlson is a guy who can really go at eBay to, if you get him in a little bit of an isolation.
Washburn gives it up to Bohannon. Now Jesperson in the corner. That's the second bucket of the second half for the Panthers. Third 3 of the game for the UVA transfer, Paul Jesperson. Both of the Panther baskets in the second half have been threes. Davis stretching from the high post to the rim.
Yeah, they've been using eBay primarily as a screener up top to get guys drives into the lane.
Texas defensive intensity, much difference in the second half.
Yeah, there's just been nowhere for him to go. And
Washburn fouled hard by eBay. Sending us to an official timeout. Texas has flipped the script in the second half. 5-point edge. First half, Northern Iowa was shooting the lights out. Second half, it has been Texas doing the same to the Panthers.
They've been shooting like the lights are out. It's they've got 2 made field goals in this half. Both of them threes. That's it. And they just had no rhythm at this point. And credit, you got to credit Texas defense, which has been much more spirited in the first 8 minutes of this half.
Panthers had a 23-2 run in the first half to take command. Texas opened the second half on a 17-3 run.
Now let's see what happens. eBay out of the game. Texas has gone back to the small lineup. So let's see if Northern Iowa can respond to that somehow offensively.
Felix off the screen from Lammert. Felix stepping in for 2.
Let's see, 3 double-figure scores, and but Texas has got to get Taylor going again at some point.
12 in the game now for Javon Felix.
They've been trying that high screen roll and haven't gotten much out of it until now.
Washburn attacking Taylor.
If I'm Texas, I'm doing everything I can to sit on that left hand, make him go right.
guarded by Bohannon. Lost it. Taylor pokes it right back to Felix. Washburn gets the board, pushes the Panthers. Wes Washburn, the senior from Cedar Rapids, Washington High School, trying to lead the Panthers back into a rhythm. Foul on Connor Lambert.
Right, and that's exactly what you do when you get into a screen roll situation like that. If you get the hard show from the big, you drive right at him and draw the foul. Well, now he'll be shooting free throws for the rest of the game.
One of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. They're 17th best at 75% on the year, the Panthers. After all the games are over, Matt Weiner, Seth Davis, Wally Zerbiak, and Georgia State head coach Ron Hunter have all the highlights and analysis on Inside March Madness presented by Buick, only on True TV.
It's been really cool. I mean, they've done a great job all day long, and they've been showing them in arena here, and I think the fans, I think it's a great thing for the arena to do, and the fans really love it.
It has been great, except for the fake picture Seth stretched out.
Yeah, that was
so much fun.
He went Costanza on that one.
Felix attacking, lost it right into the hands of Lambert. There's a foul on the way up, though. And that'll be team foul number 6 on the Panthers.
That was a pretty generous call. But Lambert, 82% from the line, very reliable.
And that foul was on Wes Washburn, his 4th. So he picks up his 3rd at the 19:43 mark. Jacobson keeps him on the floor until the 9:45 mark. He gets his 4th. So he goes 10 minutes without fouling.
Yeah, well, he's about to be substituted for, but this is a critical time now for him not to.
Washburn going in there still, fearless with 4, and draws a foul on Isaiah Taylor.
Yep. Again, that change of rule really helps a guy like Washburn who can handle and he can just keep his dribble alive.
In the bonus, but
yep.
See if Washburn has a chance to sub out. He has to make another trip. Maybe Jacobson uses a timeout. We'll see. Gets the first.
Yeah, it's so critical to make these 1-and-1s to get to the double bonus and not have empty possessions.
Washburn said his dad, Troy, taught him the fierce competitive nature. Troy played at Wyoming. Begins with defense,
yeah,
but
you can sub out after the made free throw. So now what Ben Jacobs has to struggle with is how long do we go? It a lot depends on, and they made a good run in the first half without him on the floor, so they're capable of doing it.
So at the 9:29 mark, the game tied at 58. Wes Washburn subs out.
Panthers going into the zone.
Roach through the zone, off the window to put the Longhorns back up.
Do it, you don't want to take an early, quick jump shot. Nice job of finding the gap in the zone. No shot blocker behind it.
So without Washburn on the floor, can the Panthers generate offense? Back pass. Bohannon.
Great ball movement by Bohannon. Coming from the weak side. He got a nice little back screen.
Roach on the other end. Can't finish. Lowhouse pushes back into the hands of the senior Bohannon. And a foul on Roach. Bohannon trying to cut again. 4th on Roach.
Yeah, you just see the ball movement on this side coming around and eventually getting the layup inside. the pass. You see that little back screen right there. He gets 2 screens and then everything. That's what happens when everybody lifted above the 3-point line.
Bohannon 1-1 here, an 83% foul shooter. .266 made threes in his career, a Northern Iowa record. Considering all the shooters they've had, that's pretty impressive.
It's strange to say, but this group is playing more freely with Washburn off the floor. They've been more aggressive on the offensive end.
Bohannon gets them both. Panthers back up by 2. Northern Iowa led by 16 in the first half.
Number 1 for Texas, got to get going again here in the last 8 minutes. Got the ball.
Blocking foul called as Morgan tried to draw the charge. That's the 4th on Jeremy Morgan.
I thought there might have been a little push off on that play. Look at well, what happened was the contact, he didn't extend his arm enough, and that's why the call wasn't made. It was called a block instead of a charge.
4 fouls for Morgan, sending Taylor to the line, and like you mentioned it earlier, he's been fighting plantar fasciitis. It started when they had the Saturday afternoon win over Oklahoma, and then came back on Monday and lost in blowout fashion to Kansas. Well, that tough turn.
Anybody who's had it knows even just to walk around is painful, and it's a very hard injury just for the normal person in everyday life, but for a basketball player, it is brutal.
And Taylor fighting through with 20 points in the game, both free throws to tie it again at 62. Washburn has 4, Morgan 4, Lowhouse 3.
Dr. Smart has really mixed up the big and small lineup.
Bohannon looks like eBay got a piece, and it goes anyway. One way to close out the night in Oklahoma City with the Panthers and Longhorns going back and forth.
Well, you know, with him in there, you talked about Defensive Player of the Year, that you got to put it a little bit higher up off the glass on that drive.
Texas A&M awaits the winner. Poked away by Morgan, stole it from Taylor. Morgan crosses over. End to end for Jeremy Morgan.
Boy, what a fight. Your best player's over there sitting on the bench with foul trouble, and you extend and you take the lead and extend it.
The game was tied at 58 when Washburn went to the bench. Taylor spinning, kicking. Davis misses the 3, tap out.
eBay getting a hand on it.
Felix. Jesperson pulls it. Jesperson's going to take it.
You know, you can't settle like that. eBay, nice challenge on the 3, forces the miss. A couple of early, not great shots for Felix in the last 2 possessions.
Texas 1 for its last 6 shooting. Lowhouse off the screen, 9 to shoot. Kicks it out to Bohannon for 3. Isaiah Taylor's going to reset.
Another high pick and roll coming.
Taylor finds Davis in the corner for 3. Buries it. Back to a 1-point game. Timeout, Texas. 5:24 to go. Can Northern Iowa pull off another upset in the NCAA tournament? Or will Texas fight on to meet the Aggies in Oklahoma City? Already kind of mirroring this game. Northern Iowa, the 11th seed, had the big lead, and then 6th seed Texas fighting back. The Panthers by 1 at this point. Wes Washburn back on the floor with 4 personal fouls.
See, let's see how Iowa reacts. They had a pretty good stretch without him on the floor.
He sat for about 4 minutes. Washburn into the hands of Carlson. On to Bohannon. 9 points in the game for Bohannon, all in the second half. And Texas a chance to regain the lead. The leaks back into the hands of Isaiah Taylor. 10 to shoot. There's another screen from eBay.
I wouldn't even play eBay on that. I would just jump Taylor and try to get the ball out of his hands.
Davis lost the handle.
Shot clock violation.
Yep. A wasted possession for Texas.
Yeah, I mean, eBay is he's altering shots, but he's a liability on the offensive end of the floor. And Davis just losing control of the dribble that time as the shot clock was on his back.
Northern Iowa was a 4 seed in the Missouri Valley tournament. Took out Wichita State in the semis in overtime, and then the buzzer beater over Evansville. Second straight year they won the Missouri Valley. Back in the NCAA tournament for the 7th time in 13 years. Washburn to a trailing Bohannon. Deep three, Bohannon. Back-to-back misses. Carlson rejected inside by eBay.
Why the shots that he can get to, the length that he has is incredible. And that was a terrific offensive rebound by Carlson.
211 blocks in his Texas career now for the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Garland.
It's some pretty good college basketball being played in the state of Iowa. You got Northern Iowa, Iowa State, Iowa. Pretty good three lineup right there.
eBay gets another block. There were three times the number 1 team lost in the state of Iowa this year, including when Northern Iowa took out North Carolina.
What's love? What's love?
I'm out on the next dead ball. Ten to shoot. Washburn. Carlson has to track it down. 6 to shoot. Into the hands of Bohannon. He has to attack and float. Loose ball. Lambert grabs it. Foul called on Carlson, laying out. 3:38 to go in Oklahoma City. A 1-point game to close it out in OKC.
And everybody's wanted for years and finally gets through the NCAA tournament. But, we're talking about it on the break. Both teams are basically running the same play. It's a high pick and roll to get their best scorer into the lane. Difference is that Northern Iowa is a guy the screener can score, has the potential to score. Texas doesn't. If I'm at Northern Iowa and it's Taylor, I'm jumping him with whoever is, whoever the screen, just flat out jump him and get the ball out of his hands.
Texas by 1, 3:28 to go. Northern Iowa led by 16 in the first half. Foul away from the ball. That's on Taylor.
Felix is going to get picked up for it.
Thank you. Would have been the 4th on Taylor, so that's a break for Texas.
Yeah. Morgan at just under 80%.
Felix gets his 3rd.
But now, for the rest of the time, they're in the double bonus, so you don't have to worry about missing the front end of the 1-on-1.
Junior from Coralville, Iowa, gets the first of 2. He had a big 3 late in St. Louis in the semis and in the final, and that dramatic run in St. Louis. Northern Iowa back on top. 3:22 to go.
They've got Washburn on Taylor.
Washburn with 4 personal fouls. Taylor gets past him. Washburn blocks it from behind.
Just so you know, it's no time to hold back right now. And they did that time. They came off the screener and just stayed with 2 guys with Taylor. And we talked about it.
Leaks in the corner. Looking for Taylor clearing. Washman still on him. 9 to shoot. Taylor gives it up to Lammert for 3. Following the miss, there's a foul over the back. On Texas, it's on Holland. His 4th.
Yep, Bohannon going to the free throw line. Really good job of blocking out that time. And instead, they made a little subtle change right there. They didn't have the screener come up, so Taylor couldn't be double teamed. They all flattened out. He drove and kicked out for a jump shot.
2 more here for Bohannon, the senior from Marion, Iowa.
If this turns into a free throw shooting contest, it's benefit of UNI. 75% as a team, 65% for Texas.
17th best free throw percentage in the country, Northern Iowa.
The last 9 free throws in a row now.
Kurt Warner cheering him on. 10 points for Bohannon, all in the second half. Panthers lead it by 2. Taylor attacks. Can't finish. Loose ball picked up by the Panthers.
Enough help at the end by Morgan to bother that shot.
Texas A&M awaits the winner. Travel. Morgan gives it back to the Longhorns.
And he's looking on in disbelief because his eyes lit up. He had Lammert on him. He was actually clapping for the ball. You know, they normally don't call that on guards. They'll call that on bigs outside when they make that move, but that was close.
9 turnovers. The Panthers average fewer than 10. 8th fewest in the nation. Taylor, Lammert off the shot fake. Gets the 2 to tie it at 69.
He's guarding him. They wanted to run him off the three-point line, make him take a floater.
Just this half, 4 lead changes. Texas looking for its first NCAA tournament win under Shaka Smart. Jesperson turns it over. Taylor run out, back to Felix, blocked by Washman again.
Talked about it, he leads the nation in blocks with 6'1" or under, and he's had 2 in the last 4 possessions. He didn't come from behind on Felix. We talked about it, Felix plays a little bit lower to the ground, Washman able to elevate.
With 4 fouls, back to Taylor. And he traveled, giving it back to the Panthers with 1:41.
About 4 Panthers converged on Taylor when he was making his move.
Washman brings it down. He had the buzzer beater to get him here.
They're really forcing his right hand.
Panthers 0 for their last 7.
I really think Carlson could take eBay off the dribble.
5 to shoot. Washman pulls up, 2 hands in his face. Davis clears it. A chance for Texas to take the lead with 1:08.
Tough shot. eBay coming out and getting a hand up.
Timeout, Texas. Even at 69, 1:05 to go in regulation.
Well, it was interesting. Shaka Smart met Isaiah Taylor before they got into the huddle, and he had a little mental health discussion with him for a minute. Taylor a little frustrated, only 4 points in this half, but he's got to have the ball in his hands. He's been a little frustrated because UNI, he's the focus of their defense now. They're going to make somebody other than him beat them.
1 minute to go.
And the guy who stepped up is Davis, and they've kind of gone away from him as well. He's lurking over in the left corner.
Taylor with 7 to shoot. Takes it. eBay tapped it. Foul called against the Panthers.
And eBay at 41% is going to the free throw line. Well, you talk to the Texas coach, he's been shooting better lately. He was down at 17% earlier in the year. But this is, he has not been in this situation before in an NCAA tournament game.
You said if it comes down to a free throw shooting competition, advantage Panthers.
Now, the thing is that regardless of what happens here, Texas is going to get another opportunity. There's 15 seconds between shot and game clock.
1-1.
Inside, people really have to block out.
Gets the front end to put Texas on top.
On the bench, you see the reaction, right? I think everybody is stunned. Stepping up and making a big free throw. Look at him, he's just breathing a sigh of relief.
1 of 2, 1-point lead. Washburn was practicing his buzzer beaters yesterday again, had one in St. Louis. And you watch Josh Higgins from Little Rock do it. Will he get another chance? Back in St. Louis, Missouri Valley Conference Championship game, another look at the game winner for Wes Washburn. That's what got him here. Well, again, he was out there on the practice day after Josh Higgins hit that shot for Little Rock to send it to OT in the win over Purdue, and he was reenacting that shot, hoping to get another chance.
Let's see what Ben Jacobson does here, because here's the decision. Do you flatten everybody out and let Washburn just have the ball so you take away the double team, or do you run a pick and roll with eBay?
Washburn kicked back. Carlson off the bounce, attacks to put Northern Iowa up with 27.1.
Yep, they got him. They got eBay out in space. What a great play.
Texas has a timeout. Shot clock turned off. Taylor attacks. Short. Washburn has the rebound. Felix gives the foul with 11.9.
All right, here it is. He got to his right hand, but a good step up that time. Carlson enough to make him miss. He's really struggled to score in the second half. We had this discussion with Ben Jacobson yesterday. If Washburn makes both of these threes, and we'll get back to that when we come back from commercial.
Do you foul up 3? Tell you Ben Jacobson's response. Oh, the big question in coaching circles, do you foul up 3, which Northern Iowa may have the opportunity to do. And so the question to Ben Jacobson, what do you do?
Well, and he said, I don't know, but he said I'm leaning toward fouling, but under 5 seconds. So the key is you got to make both. So then you get them to the half-court situation, and you got to have an awareness of the clock. You know, if you wrap up somebody, you have to make sure that they're not shooting a 3 at that point, and then take the foul once the clock winds down. But he would not foul before 5 seconds.
And before you get there, Washburn has to hit them both.
And I'm of the opinion that you foul under 5, because I can't remember seeing somebody making the first, missing the second on purpose, and then converting a two-pointer to tie the game up.
2 shots for the senior from Cedar Rapids. Panthers up 2.
Hey, look. One time, same thing, straight in. One hook.
Misses the second. Texas will have a chance to tie or win it with a 3. Taylor attacks, floats, even at 72. 2.7 left. Last chance for the Panthers.
And he said he wouldn't take a timeout in this situation.
Jesperson, half-court heave for the win. Got it! Jesperson nails it. Northern Iowa wins it at the buzzer. 75-72. shot from Paul Jesperson.
And Jacobson told us yesterday in that situation he would not call a timeout. They got the long, and that was, they didn't get it as far up the court as they maybe wanted to, but what an incredible finish to this game. Game winner at the end of the Valley Conference, game winner here.
And it is officially good. Taylor ties it. Jesperson, the last second half-court heave.
Yeah, no, he definitely got it off in time. Shot of the tournament so far.
It was 2010 when the 9-seed Panthers took out number 1 seed Kansas on the way to the Sweet 16. And this moment may be just as sweet for the Panther fans. The buzzer-beating Panthers take out the 6-seed Texas Longhorns.
Well, it was a great, it was a great shot on the other end by Taylor, and then you can just see the heartbreak of that. I mean, it's one thing to get beat by a 15-foot jump shot. It's another thing to get beat by a half-court heave.
2.7 seconds was all Northern Iowa had. Jesperson from Wisconsin, went to play in the ACC at the University of Virginia, decided to transfer to Northern Iowa, and has one of the all-time great moments for the Panthers and in the NCAA tournament. And the hero of the night is with Jamie Maggio.
Carter, he certainly is the hero of the night. What is going through your mind, Paul, when you heave that shot up?
I was just hoping it was going in. It felt good when it left my hands, but you never know with those shots. I'm just thankful it went in. Thankful we get to live another day.
Get to live another day. You'll play on Sunday, but back to tonight's game. This was an intense one. How good does this feel? Because I know that Wes Washpun and Matt Bohannon, you guys at some point mid-season when you're 2-6 in conference play, you thought that getting back to the tournament was far-fetched. Here you are, and you win on a buzzer beater.
Yeah, this season has definitely been had its ups and downs. I think if you would have told people 6 weeks ago that we were going to be in this position, a lot of people would have just laughed at us. But we approach practice every day trying to get a little bit better. We did that, and we made it back to the tournament. We're playing on Sunday again.
And congratulations on that. I'm going to let you join your teammates.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
And there's going to be a lot of enjoyment for the Panthers. Look at them.
Unbelievable. Just waiting for him to get that interview over with and then celebrate with their fans.
More March magic for Northern Iowa. So they move on in Oklahoma City. Texas A&M versus Northern Iowa here at Oklahoma City. That game, 5:15 Eastern time on Sunday on CBS. VCU and Oklahoma. And the other matchup in Oklahoma City. And Jamie with Panther head coach Ben Jacobson.
Coach, talk to me about the final minutes of this game, back and forth. How intense was it? What was your message to your team?
Well, we kept talking. We've been in that situation so many times in the last month, in particular in our Valley Tournament. All 3 of our Valley Tournament games were tied with a minute to go. So our guys believed. I mean, because we had been there so many times here recently. But what a great game. The way Taylor played in that game, the way Felix played in that game. I mean, just tough, hard-nosed, competitive guys, and Shaka is as good as it gets. So we got lucky that ball went in late.
When Texas made that bucket to tie it, did you think, oh man, we're going to overtime?
Oh yeah, for sure. I did. I thought we were going to be in overtime. And in this one, I'm almost happy to get there because they kind of had the momentum most of the second half. And with 2.7 on the clock, I was really in between on a timeout or not. So I'm obviously glad they found Paul.
Next up, you'll face the Aggies. What do you want your team to work on before that game on Sunday?
Well, we're going to have to, the things that we had to do tonight, we had to rebound the ball. We had to get back in transition. Those things we have to do well because of the team that we've got. So we'll start there. Then we're going to have to do some specific things after we watch some film.
Well, this was a fun one, Coach, so enjoy it.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
What a final 3 seconds. Taylor ties it, and then Jesperson wins it. Let's take a look at our Capital One Cup Impact performance. Can you guess what it is?
Yeah, we really had a mull over this one.
Off the window for the win. Talk about one shining moment. Tournament games continue live now on True TV. For Mike Jaminski, Amy Maggio, I'm Carter Blackburn. A road to the Final Four is next with Greg Gumbel. We'll send you to the studio after these messages.